What happened when a simple waitress in a fancy Miami bar spotted a billionaire in trouble and decided to act? It sparked a chain of events that would touch hearts and change lives in ways no one saw coming. In the glow of golden lights at the Lux Horizon Hotel in Miami, Lena worked her shift as a waitress in the Sky Bar. It was a high-class spot, way up high with views of the ocean crashing below. Soft jazz played in the background, mixing with the chatter of rich folks sipping drinks. Lena was 29, with her blonde hair tied back neat under her uniform, a white shirt, red vest, and black pants. She moved quick between tables, balancing trays of fancy cocktails and plates of small bites. Life wasn't easy for her. She grew up poor, sharing a cramped room with her sister in a rundown part of town. Every extra dollar from tips went straight to her old dad back in the village, where he struggled with health issues and bills that never stopped piling up. Her mom had passed years ago, leaving Lena to hold things together. Shifts like this one dragged on, feet aching from hours on end, but she kept a warm smile because good tips meant food on the table and maybe a little extra for her dad's meds. She dreamed of something better, like going back to school for nursing, but dreams felt far off when rent was due. That rainy December night, the bar wasn't too crowded. Wind whipped against the big windows, and drops streaked down like tears. Folks huddled in groups, laughing over their drinks, but one man sat alone at a corner table by the glass. His name was Ethan Black, 40 years old, a billionaire who ran big banks and made deals that moved millions. He wore a sharp suit, tailored just right, but something about him looked off. His face was pale, shadows under his eyes like he hadn't slept in days. He stared out at the storm, one hand on a glass of brandy he barely touched. Lena noticed him when she took his order earlier. "Just the brandy, please," he'd said, voice low and tired. Now, as she cleared a nearby table, she saw him shift in his seat, hand pressing hard against his chest like it hurt bad. His breathing came in short gasps, and his lips started turning a faint blue. It reminded her of her cousin, who had choked once at a family gathering and nearly didn't make it because no one acted fast enough. Lena's heart picked up. She set down her tray and walked over quiet. "Sir, are you feeling okay?" she asked, keeping her tone calm but concerned. Ethan looked up, eyes glassy, but he couldn't get words out. He gasped again, clutching his chest tighter, then his body went slack. He slid from the chair and hit the floor with a thud. His glass shattered, brandy spilling across the polished wood. Gasps rippled through the bar. People froze, staring, some pulling out phones but not moving to help. Panic hit the air like a wave. Lena didn't think twice. She dropped to her knees beside him, her tray clattering behind her. She checked quick, no pulse she could feel and no breath coming from his mouth. Her mind flashed to that first aid class she'd taken at the community center last year, pushed by her worry for her dad. "Someone call 911 right now," she shouted to the bartender, who fumbled for his phone. The bar went quiet except for the rain pounding outside. Lena tilted Ethan's head back gentle, pinched his nose shut, and leaned in. She sealed her mouth over his and blew 2 strong breaths, watching his chest rise a little each time. It felt strange, intimate in a way, giving air from her own lungs to a stranger. But there was no time for second thoughts. She laced her fingers and started chest compressions, pushing hard and fast, 30 times like they taught her. Her arms burned already, sweat beading on her forehead, but she counted in her head. "Come on, breathe," she muttered between sets, blowing air again. The jazz music kept playing soft, almost mocking the chaos. A couple guests backed away, whispering, but one woman knelt to help hold Ethan's head steady. Lena's red vest felt tight, her white shirt sticking to her skin, but she didn't stop. Blow, press, the rhythm took over. She thought of her dad, how she'd do anything to keep him breathing if it came to that. Minutes stretched like hours, her knees digging into the floor, but she pushed on. Around her, the bar stirred back to life. The manager rushed over, face white. "Is he okay? What happened?" But Lena stayed focused, her hands steady on Ethan's chest. She could feel the give under her palms, hoping it was enough. Flashes went off, someone taking pictures, maybe for social media. The rain outside hammered harder, thunder rumbling low. Lena's mind raced. What if he didn't make it? What if she was doing it wrong? But she shook it off, blowing another breath. His body jerked a tiny bit, like a spark of life fighting back. "Hang in there," she whispered, squeezing his hand quick before starting compressions again. The bartender yelled into the phone, giving the address. Sirens wailed faint in the distance, growing louder. Lena's blonde hair slipped from its tie, strands sticking to her face, but she kept going. This man, whoever he was, needed her right now. Poverty had taught her to act when others waited. Waiting never fixed anything. As the sirens got close, Ethan coughed weak, a rattle in his chest. Air moved on its own, shallow but there. Lena sat back on her heels, breathing hard herself, holding his hand. "Stay with me. Help's almost here." Her voice shook a little, but she smiled faint to reassure him, or maybe herself. The paramedics burst through the doors, bags in hand, pushing through the crowd. They took over smooth, checking vitals and hooking up machines. One looked at Lena, nodding. "You did good, miss." That mouth-to-mouth and compressions probably kept him going. Relief washed over her like the rain outside. They loaded Ethan onto a stretcher, wheeling him out fast. Lena stood, legs wobbly, watching them go. Something pulled at her. She grabbed her coat and followed. "I'm coming with," she said to the paramedics. They didn't argue. In the ambulance, lights flashing through the storm, Lena sat by Ethan, holding his hand loose. She didn't know why, but she felt connected to this moment, like her tough life had led her right here. The paramedics worked fast around Ethan, one checking the monitors that beeped steady, the other adjusting the oxygen mask over his face. His chest rose and fell slow now, but his eyes stayed closed. "He's holding on," the male paramedic said over his shoulder to Lena. "Pulse is stronger. You did the heavy lifting with those compressions." She nodded, wiping sweat from her forehead with the back of her hand. Her white shirt felt sticky under the red vest, and her black pants had picked up dirt from the bar floor. "Just glad he's breathing," she replied quiet. The ride felt bumpy, the storm making the road slick. Rain hammered the roof like drums. The female paramedic glanced at Lena. "You know him?" Lena shook her head. "No. He was just a customer. Looked bad, so I stepped in." The paramedic smiled faint. "Most people yell for help and stand back. You gave mouth-to-mouth like you'd done it 100 times. Lena shrugged. "Took a class once. Never thought I'd use it." They hit a pothole, and the ambulance jolted. Ethan stirred slight, a low groan coming from under the mask. The male paramedic adjusted and drip. "Easy there, buddy. Almost at the hospital." Lena leaned forward. "Is it a heart attack?" "Looks like it," he said. "Stress, maybe bad eating. Your pushes kept his blood flowing till we got there." They pulled into their bay minutes later, doors flying open as hospital staff rushed out with a gurney. "Incoming cardiac arrest, revived on scene by bystander CPR," the female paramedic called out. Doctors and nurses took over quick, wheeling Ethan inside under bright lights. Lena followed at a distance, her blonde ponytail coming undone as she hurried. The air smelled sharp, like bleach and medicine. She waited in a corner while they hooked him up to more machines in a curtained bay. A doctor in green scrubs came over after a bit. "You the one who started the CPR?" Lena stood straighter. "Yes." He nodded approving. "Good work. We confirmed it, severe heart attack. Blocked artery from buildup. Those chest compressions and breaths you gave? They saved his life. Brain's intact, no major damage." Relief washed over Lena. She let out a breath. "He's going to be okay?" The doctor checked his chart. "Should be, with rest and meds. We're prepping for a procedure to clear the block." They let her peek behind the curtain. Ethan lay there, eyes opening slow as the sedatives wore off a little. Monitors beeped soft. He saw her and managed a weak smile. "You again," he whispered. Lena stepped closer. "How you feeling?" "Like a truck hit me. But alive, because of you." His hand reached out, and she took it gentle. "You put your mouth on mine? Gave me air." She nodded shy. "Had to. You stopped breathing." Tears welled in his eyes. "No one's ever—" "Thank you. What's your name?" "Lena." "Ethan." I owe you everything, Lena. She stayed a few minutes, the nurses bustling around. He asked about the bar, how long she'd worked there. Couple years, she said. Pays the bills. He chuckled hoarse. I was there for a meeting. Guess it was too much. A nurse interrupted to take his vitals, so Lena backed out. Rest up, she told him. Outside the bay, her phone buzzed, texts from her sister and the bartender, asking if she was okay. Word had spread quick among the staff. One guest from the bar had snapped a video on their phone, and it was already making rounds online. By morning, the news hit big. Lena got home late, crashing on the couch in her small room. Her sister woke her with coffee and a phone screen. You're viral. The video showed her doing the CPR, tilting his head, the breaths, the hard presses. Comments poured in, real hero, and saved a billionaire. Lena blinked. Billionaire. Her sister nodded. Yeah, Ethan Black, big bank guy. It's all over the channels. Local news ran the story first. Waitress performs life-saving CPR on collapsed patron. Reporters called the hotel, then her number somehow. She answered one hesitant. This is Channel 7. Can you tell us what happened? He fell no breath. I did what I could, she said simple. The media storm grew fast. Cameras showed up at the Lux Horizon by lunchtime, mics ready as she arrived for her shift. Her uniform felt the same, white shirt, red vest, black pants, blonde hair tied back, but eyes followed her everywhere. Guests whispered and clapped. The manager pulled her aside. This is great publicity. Talk to them if you want. She stepped out front. How did you know what to do? A reporter asked. First aid training. Anyone can learn it. They pressed more. Did you recognize him? No, just a man in trouble. Photos snapped, headlines forming. Brave waitress breathes life into tycoon Ethan Black. Social media exploded. The video racked up millions of views. People shared stories of their own close calls, tagging her as inspiration. Offers came in, interviews, sponsorships for CPR classes. Her sister fielded calls at home. Some lady wants you on a talk show. Lena shook her head during a break, sipping water behind the bar. Strangers left big tips with notes. Thank you for reminding us to be kind. But the attention felt heavy. She just wanted to work quiet. Ethan texted from the hospital. His assistant had gotten her number. Saw the news. You're a star. Thanks again. She replied quick. No need. Get well. Reporters dug deeper by evening. Stories about her life popped up. From poverty to hero, Lena's tough road. They mentioned her shared room, her dad's health back in the village, the money she sent home. It made her uncomfortable, private stuff out there. One article quoted a neighbor, she's always helping folks. At the bar, a TV played the coverage. Guests cheered when her face appeared. The frenzy spread national, morning shows debating everyday heroes. Ethan watched too, propped in bed. His phone rang constant with business calls, but he ignored most, thinking about her simple act. The buzz kept building. A radio station called live during her shift. Lena, what's next for you? She laughed soft. Back to serving drinks. But inside, the pride grew. Her dad phoned tearful. You made us all proud. Tips that night hit record highs. Media vans parked outside her building when she got home. She slipped in the back, but one reporter caught her. Any message for Ethan? Hope he's recovering good, she said. Online, forums discussed the fairy tale rescue. Ethan's company released a statement, grateful for Lena's quick actions. As the day wound down, Lena sat with her sister, scrolling comments. Some offered help with her dad's bills. It touched her. Ethan called then, his voice stronger. Hey hero. The doctors say I'm out soon. Want to meet for coffee? No cameras, promise. She paused. Why? To say thanks proper. And hear your story. She thought about it. Okay, but keep it low-key. They chatted a bit, him asking about her family, her mentioning the village. Sounds tough, he said. Yeah, but we manage. A knock at her door interrupted, more reporters probably. Got to go, she told him. Talk soon. He started to say, Wait, I found out about your... But Lena cut him off quick. About my what? Her voice sharpened over the phone. Ethan paused, then sighed. Your life. I had my people look into you. Your dad's sick, the rent struggles, all that. I want to help. Clear your debts, set you up. Lena's face heated up, even though he couldn't see it. She gripped the phone tighter in her small room, her sister watching curious from the couch. You spied on me? That's not right. I saved you because it was the human thing, not for some payout. Ethan tried to explain. It's not pity. You gave me life back. Let me give something in return. But Lena felt anger bubble up, her hard work, her privacy, all dug up like dirt. No thanks. I don't need your money fixing my problems. She hung up before he could say more, her heart pounding. Her sister raised an eyebrow. Who was that? The guy from the bar. Thinks cash solves everything. Lena paced the room, feeling exposed and mad. She had helped without asking who he was, and now he treated her like a charity case. Ethan stared at his phone in the hospital room, the beeps around him suddenly louder. He set it down slow, leaning back against the pillows. For years, he had fixed things with money, buying companies, paying off issues, keeping people at arm's length. But Lena's voice cut through that, raw and real. It made him think back to his empty days, boardrooms full of suits but no real talks, a big house with echoes instead of laughter, a divorce 5 years ago because he chose work over love. No kids, no close family left. His grandma came to mind then. She had raised him after his parents died young. Poor as dirt, living in a tiny apartment, but always kind. He remembered her pulling a neighbor from a fire once, using her own coat to beat out flames, asking nothing back. Kindness ain't for sale, she used to say. She passed too soon from cancer, leaving him with lessons he forgot in the chase for billions. Now, Lena reminded him of her, strong, giving without strings. Ethan felt a ache in his chest, not from the heart attack, but from realizing how hollow his life had become. He wanted to make it right, not with checks, but with something true. A few days passed. Ethan got out of the hospital, back to his huge villa by the beach, but the quiet felt heavier. He skipped work calls, staring at the ocean instead. The media still buzzed about the rescue, but he tuned it out. One morning, he sat at his desk and wrote a simple letter by hand, no fancy paper, just plain white. Lena, I'm sorry for checking into your life. That was wrong. You saw me as a person in need, not a wallet. My grandma was like you, helped folks because it was right. She saved lives with her hands, not money. She died early, and I miss her lessons. Can we meet and talk? No offers, just coffee. Ethan. He sealed it and had it delivered to the hotel, no sender name on the envelope at first glance. Lena found it in her locker after a shift, her red vest hung up, blonde hair loose now. She read it twice, sitting on a bench in the break room. The words felt honest, not pushy. Her anger had cooled some. Work was the same grind, tips good from the fame but bills still loomed. Her dad's latest doctor call said he needed better care soon. She texted Ethan back from the number he included. Beach tomorrow? Neutral spot. They met at a quiet stretch of sand near the hotel, away from crowds. It was a sunny afternoon, waves lapping gentle. Ethan showed up in jeans and a plain shirt, no suit, looking more like a regular guy. Lena wore jeans too, her hair down, feeling nervous but curious. They walked slow along the water, feet in the sand. Thanks for coming, he said first. I meant the apology. Lena nodded. It hurt, the spying. My life's private. He looked out at the sea. I get that now. Grew up poor too, you know. Grandma scraped by, taught me hard work. But I got lost in the money game. She glanced at him. What happened to her? Ethan shared the story, her kindness, the neighbor she saved, how she baked bread for sick folks even when hungry herself. She saw people, not status. Lena softened, telling her own tales. Mom's death young, raising her sister, sending cash to dad whose lungs were bad from old factory work. I want to be a nurse, help like that. But money's tight. Ethan listened real, not interrupting, his eyes on her face. Sounds like my grandma. She'd like you. They sat on a bench as the sun dipped lower, talking more. Ethan opened up about his failed marriage, too many late nights, fights over time he didn't give. Lost her because I didn't see what mattered. Lena shared her fears, always scraping by, worried for her family. But I keep going. Kindness keeps me grounded. The conversation flowed easy, laughs mixing in over small things like bad coffee at the hospital or bar stories. Ethan felt a warmth he hadn't in years, like connecting without walls. Lena saw past the billionaire tag, a man hurt by his own choices, seeking real ties. They parted with a hug, promising to meet again. No pressure, he said. She smiled. Good. Over the next weeks, they met often. Walks on the beach, quiet dinners at small spots, no flash. Ethan shared his world bit by bit. The stress that led to the heart attack, deals that cost friendships. Lena talked dreams, how the CPR class sparked her nursing wish. Their bond grew steady, from friends to something deeper. One evening, under stars by the water, he took her hand. You didn't just save my life that night. You woke me up. She leaned in, their lips meeting soft, a kiss born from shared hurts and hopes. Love bloomed natural, not forced. Ethan changed real. He cut work hours, joined charity boards, but not as the boss, as a helper. Lena felt supported, not bought. Together they built something big. Ethan used his resources to start a nursing school for poor folks, free classes and supplies. But he let Lena lead it, her ideas, her skills from the first aid world. You're the heart of this, he told her. She quit the bar, diving in full-time, teaching others CPR and care. Her uniform days swapped for scrubs, blonde hair still tied back but with purpose now. Students came from tough spots like hers, learning to heal. Ethan's villa felt like home with her there, laughter filling rooms. He flew her dad to Miami for top doctors, covering costs quiet, no big show. The old man got stronger, walking the beach with them, grateful tears in his eyes. You found a good one, he told Lena. Years slipped by, but that night stayed the spark. Ethan traded suits for casual days, volunteering at the school, finding joy in small wins like a student passing a test. Lena led with fire, her program growing, helping hundreds. Their love deepened. Marriage on a simple beach, just family, no media. Kids came later, raised with stories of kindness over cash. Now, at the Lux Horizon sometimes, Lena stops by to train staff in first aid, her old uniform long gone. One breath, one act in a rainy bar, flipped 2 lives. It showed how real connections heal wounds money can't touch, how inner growth comes from seeing each other true. Kindness ripples out, changing worlds one beat at a time. That was today's story. If it moved you, hit that like button, share it with a friend who appreciates a powerful twist, and subscribe for more cinematic tales that linger long after the screen fades. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from.